Welcome to this month's newsletter with Emily Opal Real Estate. We have Hailey Modin from Fairway Mortgage. And Hailey, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? You're going to be on the newsletters going forward and just keeping us in the know as far as what's happening in the lending part of the industry. So, who are you?
Awesome. I love it. Well, I'm excited to be a part of this. Love working with Emily. And I've been with Fairway Mortgage and in the mortgage industry for just over 3 years now. So kind of seen some really hot markets, slower markets, everything in between, and the funny market that we're in now. So I come from kind of an educational approach. I love teaching. I was a middle school math teacher previously, and I just really value helping clients get to a place of understanding and feeling comfortable with their numbers and what the entire process from the financing side looks like. So that's kind of who I am and where I'm from.
She is too. Hailey is so good. I talked to one of my clients to be the other day, and they're like, I don't even know where to begin. And I'm like, that's fine. Call Hailey, tell her all the things, and then she will walk you through as to like what the next steps are. So that's what I super appreciate about Hailey is she's just, she's so good at explaining and like listening to all the things that people want to do and then saying, okay, here are the steps we're going to take to get there. So Hailey, real estate has just gone up, down, and all around, as you said, like in the short time frame of being a lender, you've experienced so many different markets. So what would you say, what's happening as far as interest rates, and what in your mind are we to be expecting going into the spring and summer of 2024?
I would say big picture, sky level view is we are seeing a trend down in interest rates. So mortgage interest rates generally follow inflation, and it is not a straight line whatsoever on the day or the week. But I would say generally we are lower in interest rates than we were last fall, which is great. Yes. And we do anticipate even lower interest rates throughout the rest of the year. Okay. So again, not a straight line, general trend, right around 7% today. Mm-hmm. We'll see where everything, continues to go, and what is continuing to go. So like where are market rates going is kind of the other big question that I'm getting from a lot of people. And that is really dependent on a lot of different factors and a lot of different measurements of the economy. So things like the Federal Reserve's balance sheet, the unemployment rate, the job market, and what does that look like? And then overall inflation, based on different metrics. So following those reports that come out generally on a monthly basis, what those reports tell us. There's lots of opinions about how those reports are put together, but generally where the decisions are made is based on those numbers. So we kind of have to roll with it. But that can be helpful in kind of predicting where the market goes.
Got it. First-time home buyers, a couple of years ago, even a year, they were still struggling to get into the market. Are you seeing first-time home buyers win more today than a year or 2 years ago?
Yeah. Just listened to another report this morning, and 25% of the buyers in the last month were first-time home buyers of the entire U.S. market.
Whole
so 20%
quarter
is a pretty big number. Like that's a lot of first-time home buyers, really. And then another 30% were investors. So those are kind of two metrics that we look at, because investors generally are going to be early movers in the market in terms of they think the market's really strong and there's a lot of potential for the market. They're going to jump in. So seeing more investors jumping into the market than previous months is kind of telling that we're probably going to see an even stronger market. And then first-time homebuyers are still out there. They're being resilient. They're jumping in, figuring it out. Another thing a lot of first-time homebuyers are getting help from are seller concessions. Not a guarantee by any means, but something that's very common, and I think will go away as we see rates come down. So
that's true. Me and Hailey have actually had quite a few conversations. We're working a deal together right now. And Hailey was like, if you can try to get seller concessions, please do. And I said, oh, don't even worry about it. Because when I call the list agent, I say seller concessions are non-negotiable. Like, I need 3%. So if you want to put the deal together, this is where I need you to be. And if we need to come up in purchase price, then that's fine and we can move things around. But I definitely think that first-time home buyers or second, all of buyers in general right now can still really take up on that seller concession, which is so helpful when you get to the closing table.
And it can prevent, or not prevent, it can, how should I say this? It can minimize, the amount of down payment assistance needed, if needed at all. So we can basically sometimes substitute a seller credit for down payment assistance. And that is really nice. Down payment assistance is an awesome program. We have kind of multiple versions and types of programs there, but that's to help, first-time home buyers get into a house, which can be great, but most first-time buyers have some money saved, and so we want to utilize what they have saved and then hopefully not come at them with a higher interest rate, which is typically connected to down payment assistance. Sometimes higher fees are connected to down payment assistance. So kind of a lot of pieces, right?
Yeah.
That we can basically avoid when we can get a seller credit. So
yeah,
super cool.
That's huge. Very helpful. You talked about programs. And so my next question to you is, what is your favorite program that Fairway is offering right now, and how are you utilizing it to help?
Yeah, absolutely. So, oh gosh, favorite. It's so hard. I feel like there's so many different ones, right? So I'll speak to kind of, if it's okay, a couple categories. So first-time home buyer program, a move-up buyer program, and then we have a special doctor program, which is pretty cool. That's been awesome. So first-time home buyers, lots of options. I feel like one of the biggest misconceptions is that all first-time home buyers need to use an FHA mortgage. So we actually have a conventional loan that can be even better depending on the buyer's profile, better option for them. And then we have a huge break on interest rate for that conventional program, special to Fairway. And then we also have first-time homebuyer classes that can give you an even better break on interest rate. So a whole different variety of things, but that break on interest rate allows them savings on a monthly basis, which can be really cool, and just really helpful for getting a buyer a more comfortable payment and a house that they need.
Yeah.
So both those pieces for first-time homebuyers. So interest rate savings for first-time homebuyers. For move-up buyers, we have a really cool new product that we just rolled out. It is a bridge loan. It's called the Equity Unlock. So we can help move-up buyers buy their new home before they sell their current home. But still tap into the equity that they have in their current home, which is super valuable. And then in addition to that, they can qualify for more because we don't need to account for the payment on their current mortgage or the bridge loan, which is a 0% interest bridge loan. So lots of options there. Really cool to allow buyers to get into that new house before they sell. Takes a lot of stress out of the process. So we have a special program for that. And then the doctor loans. So doctors often are shopping in the jumbo loan amounts. So that's over $750 generally. And we have a 0% down payment for doctors. So that means they could buy $1 million house and not have a down payment, which is kind of crazy. And of course,
that is crazy.
That's wild.
Wow.
So, yeah, for jumbo loans, most of the time you're still looking at minimum 10% down. We have a 5% down for doctors as well. So if they do have some cash that they want to put towards the purchase, of course, when you do put down a down payment, you're lowering your loan amount, so your payment would be a little bit lower too. But it's nice to have options.
Yeah, it is nice to have options. I didn't even know most of that you just said. So look, I'm learning things too.
Good. And then can I add one more? I just thought.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I know you said one favorite.
No, you're right.
Four. It's just so fun. So we have a product that we are offering on listings. So for listings that are coming up, we are offering a lender paid 1.0 temporary buy down. So temporary buy downs have been super popular with rates just being a little bit higher. So 1.0 is a first year 1% lower interest rate. But the key factor is it's not costing the buyer and it's not costing the seller. We at Fairway are covering that cost for the first year. So if you get a seller credit, of course, or something like that, we can always bump it up to a 2-year program or even a 3-year program,
Okay.
whatever makes sense for the buyer, of course. But it can really soften that first year of payments. But we do connect it to a specific home that's being listed.
Okay.
So partnering with the listing agent on that. But yes, we have like little flyers and all the things.
Oh, cute.
So rolling that out too.
Awesome. I didn't know you had those.
Surprise, sorry.
Surprise. Okay, last question for you today. We're trying to keep this a little short, guys, so it's not like too much information. But Hailey, for the people who are sitting on the sidelines, do you have anything to say to them?
Yes, for sure. I would say number one, it does not hurt and it does not cost you to have a conversation with an agent and a lender.
Yes.
So definitely encourage just opening that door, having that conversation. I love to chat with buyers about kind of the 3 big buckets, right? Their income and their employment, their savings, like what do they have in savings and their assets, but then also their credit. So if you talk to us early, you can set yourself up for success and you won't have as many surprises down the road if you wait to talk to somebody. Sometimes something will come up on your credit and you didn't realize that you could have been proactive and preventative of something. Or maybe you're like, I'm not sure exactly how much I need to have saved, then we can break that down and be like, hey, this should be a really good goal for you for your savings, and just give you ballpark numbers and help you kind of get ready and plan and be really strategic about setting yourself up for success when you get to that point where you're ready to buy. And the other thing is with income, there's a lot of variable income, right? So if you have overtime pay or commission or anything like that, it's good to get an estimate, and I can run a full estimate without a hard credit pull on your income so that we can be like, hey, when you get ready to buy, this is about your bracket for your income. Like this is how I as a lender am going to look at that. So then maybe it means working more overtime. Maybe it means asking for an hourly pay raise, maybe it's your 6-month review. I just talked with a client and was like, hey girl, you've been there for 6 months. Have you gotten a raise? She's like, cool, but they told me I could. And I was like, go get it.
I love that.
Right? Yes. So I'm an advocate for you as a client. Even before you're officially my client. Like I want to have that conversation and set you up for success.
That's huge. Yeah. I always encourage my clients just exactly the same. If you're even thinking about it, just talk to the lender now, because if you talk to them in 6 months and you want to buy in 7, but you had 6 months worth of work to do, then you're 6 months behind, and who knows what the next 6 months brings as far as rates and, job changes or this and that. So I love that. It never hurts to have a conversation.
It does not. And I feel like some people are worried, like they're going to get annoyed, like I'll follow up too much, but I promise I won't annoy you. And I also am here to like teach you, like I think kind of going back to my very first like introduction, like we're all about education and supporting you, whether it's resources, taking a homebuyer class early, like we have free ones, you can just be like, get your feet wet kind of thing, and not necessarily need to sign any papers or do anything official,
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much, Hailey, for joining us today. Anything else before we go?
I think that's all. I'm just really excited to see more inventory hopefully coming to market in the summer, and probably a lot more buyers. So
I think so too. They're starting to pop up. So
excited for that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, we'll chat again soon.